Hi everyone, this is Nadia, award-winning author, award-winning mentor, clairsentient psychic, founder at Spartanite. Happy New Year to everybody watching this before I just run out of happies, basically. I wanted to give myself a happy New Year day yesterday, with it being New Year's Day break, and then start again. I spoke to you guys just before Christmas, and I said that I'll be back in the new year. So yeah, we have ended a year. We have also ended a decade. We start obviously a new year, a new decade, and also a new decade for me, age and personally as well. So it's a very exciting time for me, and I know it is an exciting time for many people to realize their true potential and find out who they really are, because the energies of the 2020 decade right up to like 2029 is gonna be intense. I will probably have to cover that in another video because that's not what this video is about. So I just want to give a quick disclaimer before I actually get into the heart of what I want to discuss today. So if you guys have placed orders just around Christmas or after Christmas, we are working on it. You know, we would appreciate if people don't email us every 4 hours asking what's going on. We have got to it, and there might be like a bit of a delay simply because we just have so much to comb through and process. And as your stuff gets updated, we reach out to you with however we've scheduled to do so. So yeah, we really appreciate your love, we appreciate your business, we appreciate your patience, we appreciate all the time, the physical time that you actually spend watching these videos and learning. It just means a lot to me, and I hope, and it's my endeavor, to be able to reach as many people as possible this year, this decade, and really transform lives in a way, if starting with my own life, and of course transform other people's lives in a way that I may not have thought of previously. With that said, okay, so today's topic that I want to discuss, and it comes in really early in the year, it's this and I'm gonna try and find ways to put it because I'm thinking aloud on camera as well. There's this pervasive notion, especially in entrepreneurship, that you have to be manic to be successful. Okay, so today's topic we're going to be covering is manic success versus focused success, and how to be balanced in your pursuit of whatever it is you want to be successful at. Now, this will usually relate to people who are entrepreneurial by nature, enterprising by nature, business owners. That does not mean if you do not fall in this category that it does not apply to you. Take of it what you can. Or I guess you're ambitious as well. That's kind of the one bit I forgot to say. All right, the major issue that I find with a lot of people generally is that there is, like I've said, this pervasive notion of, you know, we have to be manic, and they have these sort of set routines. We wake up at 6 a.m., then we shower, then we meditate, then we check our emails, and then we do this, and it just feels scripted and robotic, and it feels like you're running on somebody else's truth instead of running on your own. Now, when it comes to things like focused success to me is something that you're not crazy about doing this mad dash from one thing to another consistently. I know this when I was younger. My life was very different when I was younger, and I was very flighty, very flaky, very unreliable. I had all the traits that are the complete opposite of who I am today. Today I'm loyal, grounded, solid, stable. People can rely on me, people can count on me, which, yeah, that inspires a lot of safety and trust in somebody as well. Now, mania are these whatchamacallit gurus that you have. You know, someone's made 10 million, somebody's made 50 million. You don't even know if the man sleeps at night. I've seen so many things that it's like lunacy, basically. You see these people, they're talking super fast, they're probably using something, they're probably on cocaine, something's off, basically. There is a healthy level of like euphoria. Like, say for instance, if somebody does an aura cleanse from us, that I'm happy to chuck in the link below. I know I swear by them. Most of my clients swear by them as well. So I think more than anything, what I want to say for manic success is that it's very, very it's the done thing. I guess maybe I'm not very clear in my thoughts today, but it's the done thing for a lot of people. I think most people are just very much if you're not manic about success, you're not successful. If you're not up at 5 a.m. doing this, you're not successful. If you haven't closed this many sales in a month, you're not successful. It's this no time to breathe energy, which is very frightening, that I usually see. Whereas somebody, when they're focused successful, what ends up happening is that they are extremely clear about what they want. They may have a time that they're giving themselves, and they're just a bit like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna put this all in stages. Like, I've done this, then I've done this, then I've done this, then I've done this, and they're very focused. It's not the fact that they're not quick at what they do, they're just not manic. There's some people that are so manic about what they do, it's almost off-putting. It's like this Wolf of Wall Street energy. That's how I describe it. It's this predatory, hungry type of energy, right? So a normal, healthy, functioning person doesn't have that energy, right? A lot of people admire that energy because it's like a whirlwind and you get a lot done. However, it is not stable, it's not balanced, and it's definitely not mentally well. So the major thing I tell people all the time is that in your pursuit of success, make sure you have built-in self-care routines. Make sure you have built-in stuff that you feel is going to nourish and support and help and love you, basically. Because if you're just running from A to B to Y to Z, it's just, I've seen people who they end up with all kinds of things in their body. You know, somebody has inflammation, somebody has a hernia, somebody has an autoimmune disorder, somebody constantly has migraines. You know what that's telling you? It's telling you, please slow the fuck down before you die. That's essentially it. Now, lots of people who are should I say young? I'm trying to think back to my own life. Like, when I was young, I just used to move like the Tasmanian devil, basically. I'm much more calmer than what I was. But in that essence, when I think of myself, I see these people in myself, or I see myself in these people when I was younger. And the reality of everything is that I was insecure. I didn't know who I was. I was trying to prove myself, just like all these people out there. You're trying to prove yourself to be someone, be something, whereas in actual fact, if you truly took the time to look at yourself, you're just nothing inside. And you know it, but you're trying to avoid it. That's how I describe. That's what manic, in my definition, that's what manic success is. These people who are like, oh yeah, well, I made this in 1 year, I made this, I did that. First and once upon a time, I used to think maybe they're trying to prove it to everybody else. Maybe people were horrible to them, maybe people bullied them, and it could be a case, right? But more than anything, I came to find that they were not trying to prove anything else to anybody. They were trying to prove it to themselves. That gaping hole inside you is so desperate. It's you're in so much pain that you're just trying to prove yourself to everybody else. As what you think, but you're actually trying to prove it to yourself. You see, when you have nothing to prove, neither to yourself and nor to other people, you move on your own schedule, you move on your own time, you do whatever you want to do without having that constant nagging, I need reassurance from someone else that I'm doing it right constantly. So what is grounded success, and how can we embrace more of it? So grounded success is someone that's obviously, like I've said, they're quite stable in their train of thought, their maturity, their element, where you grow slowly over time. It reminds me of, say for instance, there are two fields. Both have crops, and then one you keep pouring fertilizer on it consistently, and one you just leave it. Well, obviously the one with fertilizer and stuff is going to grow quickly, but the fact is that it's not natural, it's not organic, it doesn't taste good. And the point that I say for manic success is there's a lot of people who make money very quickly. I've seen them online, and they have funny habits of telling people what they've made and how they've made it. which is weird because in the real world, I have never sat in front of a business owner and said, yeah, this is what I've made. It's this very, very, very narcissistic and egotistical way of looking at things. Essentially end up behaving like a child with access to big resources, which is quite sad. So remember that when you're trying to pursue success, and there's a lot of people who watch this video, and we are told in society that you have to be manic to be successful. You have to be the busy businessman who doesn't have time for a relationship. It's not he doesn't have time for a relationship. He's emotionally unavailable and he doesn't know it. He's not willing to face his emotions. He just thinks, women are a distraction, or if he's into men, it's the same thing basically. I don't want to deal with it, blah, blah, this, that. But it's not the women or whatever it is he doesn't want to deal with. He doesn't want to deal with himself. He doesn't want to look at himself in the mirror and face everything that's going on, because he thinks he's really driven and he's got like 5 or 10 businesses. But in actual fact, it's not a drive issue. He's trying to run away from the trauma, or he's trying to run away from everything that he's gone through. And the same can be for women, because I know I did it and I'm not a man. So the point I'm trying to make over here is that grounded success is very possible when you do your emotional work. Commit to doing your emotional work. Look within. Ask yourself the difficult questions consistently every day, so that when people come and ask you questions, you're not thrown off track, you're not jittery, you're not thinking, well, what do I say to this person? And then not only that, you don't become aggressive towards them. You don't become defensive. Because lots of people who haven't done their emotional work are simply defensive. You ask them anything, shit hits the fan, everything breaks, because they have not done that work and they haven't looked. There's no mirror, they haven't looked at themselves. I know when I started doing my emotional work, I looked like someone who was grieving and mourning at the same time. I looked psychotic because everything was just coming up at one time. I didn't get the liberty, or whatever it is, the privilege of dealing with my emotions one step at a time. They just kind of all slap me in the face. It's like 50 people slapping you at one go. You're obviously going to become mad. Grounded success is very possible. I want to make this very clear to everybody watching this, that I would really recommend people to take their time with things. I know people want to rush. They want to make $1 million a month. They want to make 100,000 a month. They want to do this. They want to sign on 50 clients. And you're trying to run before, never mind walking, you can even crawl or even move one foot. You know why? Because you're trying to keep up with a lot of these el mucho macho manic young dickheads online who, I was 19 and I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Now I'm 20, I'm a millionaire. Look, mate, nobody gives a shit about that. No one. You sound like an idiot because you are an idiot. That's the point. And it doesn't matter how much money this little boy has made, he's still a little boy, because he still has a lot of mental maturity that he needs to grow up and do. And I think the main thing with mania is that you will find the more immature a person is, the more manic things they do, because they don't have control and mastery over self. The main thing that I teach in Spartanite is beyond the wealth consciousness mentality, beyond iron ring mentality, beyond sovereignty. I will teach you self-mastery. Self-mastery is very, very difficult. It's not something you can read in a book. It's not something you can do anything about it, because it's something that you have to face inside. You have to look inside yourself. And how do you master your emotions? How do you give that space to them to grow, instead of let's just crush everything at one go? Oh my God, I made 100,000 this month. Oh, I'm successful. Okay, you're financially successful, but how about the other things? Because in this world, nobody seems to care about anything else. They're just like, oh yeah, you made 100,000. I made 150. Go fuck yourself. I've listened to men at tables doing things like that, and it's just like, doesn't matter how much money you have, you all sound like idiots. Please don't be one of those people. Please commit to emotional maturity, commit to emotional growth. Ask yourself these hard questions so that you don't have to resort to this mania constantly that you see with people. They're trying to do a Facebook live stream, an Instagram live stream, 3 YouTube videos, 5 emails. Slow down. Seriously, no one's gonna die if they don't hear from you in a few days. The world is not gonna end. That's what I usually say. No one's just gonna collapse. allow yourself the space and time, create boundaries. And if people don't respect your boundaries, that tells you how much they respect you. If someone doesn't respect your boundary, they don't respect you. Okay? So always find an emotionally healthy and stable way. Self-care, love yourself, take your time out. You can't serve anybody else if you haven't taken care of yourself, basically. Choose a grounded success over manic success, and over long term, you will come to appreciate the benefits of having something stable as opposed to darting from one thing to another, and you don't inspire any type of hope or sanity in anybody. So I hope that's a great start to the new year, and I hope it gets a lot of people thinking about that situation as well. And again, I'd love to hear if you have any comments, any thoughts, especially because this world is so manic and so crazy that we are not allowed to slow down anymore. So I would love to hear from anybody who wants to contribute to this video in the chat section below of what's one way that you've found that you've paced yourself in business or in life and you've slowed down and really taken time for yourself so that you can show up better, you can serve better, you can lead better, and you can love better. All right? Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm looking forward to reading those comments, and if you have any questions, you can feel free to private message me or email us directly at support@thespartanite.com. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with more content soon. Bye, take care.